has been a while. It has been a while since I've sat here not running a game of some description and mapped. And when I say mapped, this is Necropolis for Frog God Games, formerly by Necromancer Games, written by Gary Gygax himself. This is the final dungeon that we're doing, and we're doing it at battle map scale. That's literally like 60 inches by 60 inches, something like that, 60 by 70. It's freaking huge. I, though, have not been completely ignoring this map. I've actually been working on it. I've just been doing it off camera. There's been some repetitive work I wanted to do off camera, things that you're just gonna get bored with. So I've been playing around with sort of the background coloring a little bit. I liked where this is going, so we're gonna stick with this. I finished the coloring of this room. Put a pin in that, we'll come back to it. But generally speaking, I've finished the coloring of that room, so I'm happy with that. I've also been just going gangbusters with the floor and the walls. We've got a lot done. As you can see, every single tile here is unique, and I've also been going through the book, and the book is confusing in some parts because this is a multi-tiered dungeon, and some of the corridors come in underneath other rooms and stuff. So there's actually some sections of this that were actually drawn incorrectly. Here, I'm going to draw some stairs. I'm going to come back to that. I don't want to do stairs right now. Here, we've got to do the colouring of the floor. I want to come back to that, because I haven't really decided what I want to do with the secret corridor. But something different, something special. But we're going to come back to that. We've done this section over here. Did that off camera as well. Little test swatch there. Happy how it looks. Then this room has a duplicate very similar to it here. So we did that one. And last night I was actually working on this piece. And this is where I'm going to pick it up tonight. So this is a room that is actually below that corridor. And that corridor apparently actually comes in all the way down. See this corridor here? Underneath this room, comes underneath this corridor over here. This is going to be interesting. And there's a trap here. So if you go down the pit, you can then get to the corridor, which comes all the way up here into here. And then at the end of this, there's meant to be a wall, but the only way to actually get... So I don't know what to do with this, because there's a wall here that you have to break through in order to get to here. So I feel like I should be drawing a wall here, like a wooden wall or something. Because that's the description. Even though the map doesn't have one, the description does. And then apparently when you kick the wall down, you've got this. So I'm not sure what to do with that. I don't know whether to draw the wall down or not. But if you put minis on it, I think that I should, right? Otherwise I'll just get to the end and say, well, I know there's a room at the end. I'm just going to put me in, you know? So I feel like I need to do something with that. But the main thing that I actually want to do tonight is the shadows. Shadows! I'm not happy with the shadows. Now I was here, but now I'm not. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my little note. And it's right over here. Let's get my note. There we go. And I'm actually gonna change this. I actually want to make two shadows. I'm gonna delete all of the shadows on the map. We're gonna redo them. I want the bottom shadow to be pretty deep. Not dark, deep. And the second one, also about 25 opacity. We could play around with that because we've got some shadow layers. About this, so maybe 260 for the top shadow and a little bit darker. But then, like, the other one comes out right over here. Now, each one of these, I think, is 450 pixels, if I remember rightly. It might be 350. What is the DPI of this thing? 450, okay. So if that's 450, and I want the shadows to come out like the 3/4 mark, I think we could, like, do almost 375, 400, which is not quite double that. No, I'm telling a lie. I'm telling a lie, because the shadow would actually, if I, let me zoom in a little bit here. And let's move this a little. Let me sort of talk through my thought process. A shadow, in fact, let me do a narrate layer. Because then we can get rid of this afterwards. Alright. So, hear me out on this. Shadows. If a shadow is 450 pixels, right? This is 450 pixels here. I actually need to bring this up. There we go. Alright, so this is 450 pixels right there. If I have a shadow that's 450 pixels deep, but I'm colouring it on top of the wall here. In fact, let's bring this little guy up. Let's bring him all the way up to the top. There we go. Then the actual shadow would do this, right? And I think this is part of my mistake. This is why my shadows are too small. So if I want a shadow to actually reach out this far, I need to have a shadow, because I'm gonna focus it right here. I need to have a shadow that actually does this. It's basically got to be huge. So it's got to be like 900 pixels in size. I think that's why I haven't been liking everything so far. So I feel like my base shadow has got to be 900 pixels, and we'll play around with the opacity. And then the second one has got to be something like that. I'm gonna try halving it. 450 pixels. We're gonna try that. So let's get rid of the narrate layer. Let's go back to our shadows. I have two sets of shadows that sit on top of the floor, and we can move these around. I actually have this one up here too, but I'm ignoring that. In fact, should I turn that off? I'm going to turn that off for the purposes of what we're dealing with right now. This is when I want shadows to actually fall on top of walls and things like that. This is primarily things like on stairs and stuff. You know, so you can see that. In fact, what I should do is I'm going to leave it there, but I'm going to actually just lock that layer so I don't get confused. These are the two that I want. These are the two that equate to this. 900 pixels on the bottom, 450 pixels on the top, and I'm doing that so I can get a darker shadow real close. I think that's going to be the key. And then we'll play around with individual opacities. You see that in the top right corner there? We'll play around with the individual opacities to sort of figure out what they should be. Like, is it 25 pixels on each one, 25 opacity on each one? Is it like 25 and 10? So let's do just a steady, let's just reset on 25. And the first thing we're going to do is I'm actually going to zoom out a little bit. I'm going to move this little puppy over there. I'm actually going to do a Control-Alt, and I'm going to delete everything on the shadow layer. And then I'm going to delete everything on that layer too. Done. No take-backs. See how different it looks too when you get rid of the shadows? Shadows make a huge difference. They really do. Not only darkening the whole thing, but they give elevation to the walls and stuff. Look how flat it looks now in comparison. So, first let's do 900. And what I'm going to do is we're going to use a brush. In fact, let's relabel this. I keep getting confused here because I got a shadows and a shadows high. And my brain keeps going to the wrong one. So we're going to get our brush. And we're going to use the soft round brush, but not pen pressure, just soft round brush. And I'm going to make it 900 pixels. And we're actually going to go with black. Hey, Alex Vixen! Hello, hello. I did, thank you very much. That was while I was streaming last Sunday. Okay, shadows. Trying to figure if I want to put snap on, but I don't. Okay, so we'll go there. Now the shadows are actually going to fall a little bit outside of the wall. That's okay. We're gonna clean this up. Now this is going to look too heavy, okay? Don't worry about that. You know, I should make an effort to come around the corner here. In fact, yeah. This is fine. Okay. In fact, this just comes straight. There's a wall there. I actually kind of want to recolor that floor a little bit, but I'm gonna deal with shit like that separately. How has everyone been anyway? I was away all last week, as in not streaming. I was actually here at the house. Alright. I think generally speaking, that's leaning in the right direction. We do have some cleanup to do. But I think that might work. Green, Loon Tune, and Cape Geek. Wow, I'm on it. Cave, last night was fun, man. Good stream. They should bring us back on. It was fun times. It was a little raunchy. It was a little, you know, R-rated, but fun nevertheless. I don't think I did expect it. I mean, it was with you, yes, okay. No, with you, I've come to expect that. But I want to say everyone else was in the mood too for just being raunchy as hell, you know. I think everyone just wanted to let their hair down a little bit. But fun times. I think I needed it too. Like, I almost honestly did not stream today. But actually talking to you is putting me in a good mood. And I need to remember that. I need to remember that streaming, as much as an effort that it is, actually puts me in a good mood. Like talking to you all right now. I should probably, I think once I'm, you know, this isn't taking too long. Forget me. What I was going to say is I should probably just do a smaller section and see if I like it before I complete like the part that we've done. But I'm kind of tempted to just to keep going. So we have an honest feel for if it's worth. You see, I'm wondering if the shadow is too deep, but because I can actually throttle back the opacity here, let's say to 20? 20, maybe even 22 or something like that. I think the bigger shadow is better. And granted, where it spills out on the other side of a wall, maybe I'll do something about it, maybe I won't. Because I think I'm okay with there being a little bit of a darkness there. I think I am. But I think I'm generally okay. It's just when the rooms are smaller, I think that's where I like it less. But let's just roll a little bit more on this. Hey, Tom Hawker 64. It is all about shadows tonight. I was not feeling the shadows that I had previously. I was drawing this room last night, and I put the shadows on it, and I was like, I don't like them. And so now I want to dial in a different size and get the opacities of each done. And I think this size, which are on like 900 pixels right now, might be a smidge too much. Might be a smidge too much. Maybe doing something like more like 800 might be a bit better. I think I might need a little bit smaller. Cave, I agree with you. Wonders, right? Wonders never cease. All right. You know what? I'm gonna do it right now. It's meant to be dialing in shadows, so let's dial in shadows. Let's do one of the smaller rooms. Let's do that, and let's try. Do I drop just 100 pixels, or do I drop 200 pixels? Let's do 200 pixels. We'll do 700 by 350. Let's try that. Let's come around the corner. In fact, let's do here to here to here to here. There's probably a way of doing like the wall colouring outer glow or something, but I don't want to do that. Tom Hawker says, would it be better to do north and south walls instead? Yeah, maybe. It's just not my style. Oh God, Cave. Oh God. You're going to try and explain something to me to do in Photoshop. And I'm going to get annoyed because you're trying to teach me something in Photoshop while I'm live on stream. But go on. Go on. At the risk of me losing my shit, go on. I've got to have some control over the shadows, so okay? So it can't be like a layer outer glow or a layer drop shadow. I don't want to do anything like that. But if you've got something easier, hit me with it. Yeah, but oh God, Ala's here. She wants me to like lose my shit. Hey, Ala. Select the wall layer. Use the inner glow on it, or the color of shadow. Well, you know, no. You see, I'm not okay. So look, I'm not massively opposed to that. Here's I guess where I have a problem with it. I actually want to throw 2 shadows on there. I'll try it, okay? I'll try it. But I also, in parts, want to then delete it. So I think what I'd have to end up doing is like flattening that layer, so to speak, so that the layer effects become part of the layer. You know what I'm saying? It's like I want my shadow to be separate from my actual wall. I never want them to be the same. I get what you're saying though. I do. Plus, it will actually put my shadow up here. And in some instances, I don't want necessarily my shadow to be all the way up there. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I want the shadow to be underneath, let's say, the grid over here, for example. Although I've got it over the grid. But you know what I mean. Oh, no, there's my guy. Well, you know what I mean. But let's try it. Let's try it. For the sake of argument, we can try it. Hey, Chris J's here. Sorry, Miss J, that you're having some internet connections. I'm gonna blame COVID. Alex fixed it, you don't me. No, I try to have a lot more patience on that thing now. You know, I try not to have too much of a stick up my ass over it. In the early days, there was a lot of people trying to tell me how to do some things on channel, and it would be like, let's say half a dozen people talking to me at once, or let's say 3 people, all trying to suggest things. And it ended up with me just basically practicing in Photoshop and not actually getting any shit done. But hey, as long as I'm just hanging out, chilling, then really does it matter? Let's practice. So Cave says, select a wall layer. Alright. Create a new layer with that selection. Yep. Right click, stroke inside. Make it the shadow color and opacity. Let's give it a whirl. And I think what I'm going to have to do for this is actually select the wall coloring, because the ink obviously won't work on its own. But let's do it. Alright, so there's my copy. There's our wall shadow. This could be a really quick stream. If this nails it first time, I'll go, okay, there's my shadows done. Okay. And you say do an inner shadow. Wait, you said stroke inside? This sounds like last night's stream now. Stroke inside? Why not shadow? Why not, like, why stroke? Why are we stroking this thing? Is it really wasted if you learn new tricks in Photoshop? Yes. Yes, it is on principle, because I always forget the new tricks afterwards. Miss J has taught me so many tricks and I've remembered maybe half of them. Right click, stroke. There isn't a right click stroke. Paint the shadows as a stroke on its own layer. What? Okay, I've lost the plot somewhere. Hold on. I thought you were teaching. If I'm painting the shadows, and how is that any different than what I was already doing? Now I'm really confused. Oh, you're talking about select the layer. Oh, what? Huh? All right, Tomahawker. Good to see you, my friend. No, I'm really confused, Cave. So select the wall layer. Okay. Select the wall layer. Create a new layer with that selection. Alright, so wall coloring. This is big map, so it'll take a while to do its selection. Alright, wall coloring layer selected. Now what do you want me to do? Now create a new layer. Alright. Now right click on the map. Kind of like not doing anything right here. I'll just have a drink while Cave tells me what to do. There's an edit stroke option. Is that what you're looking for? Alright, by the way, I'm not convinced this is going to work, Cave, but I am going to indulge you. So here's the stroke tool. And it's on inside. I assume you might want some kind of blend on this, but what do you want me to do with this thing? Now click on outside. Alright. Well, okay, there I suppose is our first problem. I'm not sure this is going to work, man. I'm literally not convinced that this is going to work. Like, at all. For starters, I don't know what blend mode to do, and you're the one that's now sort of saying, now, just play with it. But even this, I mean... It's not even feathered. I think I'd have more success duplicating the wall layer and actually putting a layer, like using one of the layer effects on it to get like the glow, a black glow coming off it. But then like rasterizing, I want to say, you know, but flattening that particular layer so it merges with the filter. Then the filter would be editable from the point of view that I could then start deleting things. Well, for starters, so here's the first problem. It would only allow me to go up to like 250 pixels max. Oh, and actually, so the other thing is, we should have done a inverse selection, because it's actually stroked inside the wall here, not outside the wall. So either we should have maybe stroked on the inside, not stroked on the outside, because you know, we want it out here. Well, out here, right? But this size is going to be too limited, and I hate... It's also following my coloring, you see that? So it's actually following the shape of my coloring. Like, look at this here. Versus like having a nice wall, because this is like almost doing the shadow of an individual block, so I'm not sure that's like going to work like that. And it's not large enough. You know, even the max size that I want it to do is not going to be large enough. Now you try to make it quicker, and I appreciate that. I'm down with that. And sometimes you've got to experiment. You've got to try it to see if it's actually going to work or not. I mean, the other way of doing this potentially, but I'm still gonna get maybe odd wall shapes involved in the shadows, which I don't want. The other way potentially to do this is to take a duplicate of the wall, and I was thinking if I did like where's my outer glow? I don't want to use drop shadow, but if I did an outer glow that was black, and like I made it freaking huge, But even here, I'm kind of limited. But I'm actually not convinced that's done jack diddly. Like, that hasn't actually done any outer glow at all. What did I do wrong on that? But maybe, you know, maybe trying to force that sort of direction, but I feel like I could just draw them by hand. Oh, here we go. Mystery, that's an interesting approach. I know you can't hear me. Basically, it would be almost duplicating the floor, but with solid white. And then what you do is you set it to a multiply so it disappears, but if you then give it an inner glow, basically the floor itself would be glowing instead of the walls casting shadow, which is kind of an interesting approach. That definitely would be worth experimenting with. I wonder if that's actually worth experimenting with right now. I'm intrigued by that one. I don't know if it would be any quicker though, because what I'd have to do is basically duplicate the entire floor but in solid white. Mystery is very smart. I mean, I'm willing to actually give that a go, just if anything to see what happens. Like, so let's say this here. I think what Miss J is saying is, and this is where the time-consuming bit would come in. Take something like this. We basically have to duplicate the shape of the floor. So let's just say we're going to do this section right here. And then she says, fill it with white. Like so. And then what we're going to do is actually give that, what she's saying is give it a blender multiply. So it disappears. You can see it's actually disappeared in the background now. But then what she says is if you give it an inner glow that is black, hold on, Tom, I'm going to read that bit in a second. Yeah, you see, that didn't work. The inner glow did not work. That did not work at all. Why did that not work? Alright, there's our inner glow. There's a potential inner glow. So then, if we went... Oh, no. Well, wait a minute. Oh, okay. Inner glow, normal. Can we do... There. So that's what Miss J's talking about. You could just about see it there. You see that? So basically, the layer is invisible because of the white multiply, but it's got this inner glow here. The problem with this is, it's not big enough. I'm pretty sure that's not going to be big enough for me. That's what she said. Continuing last night's stream. Hey, Phantom Jen, we are doing all the shadows. Alright, so the inner glow here has a max pixel size of 250. We've been playing around with 700 pixels. So even half of this, let's say 350, I don't think this is hitting the size that I need. Now if we change... It's actually not worth saving diddly squat right now because we've done nothing all night. So, now that's a pretty dark shadow, okay? We wouldn't make it that dark. I kind of like that. I actually kind of like how dark it is. Is that gonna work? Let's actually push forward on this. Hold on a sec. I am intrigued. So if we go here, it's Jen's fault, I never said it. Now theoretically, oops, what am I doing? Oh no, I just deselected like a right nonce. Hold on a sec. What I want to do is now make our shadow layer even bigger, like so. Alright, so this is already white here. I know it's hard to follow, but trust me, it is. So if we fill it with more white... Is that good? I mean... It's actually darker than I was intending, but is that okay? Someone get a message out to Miss J to say it might be working. I'll just do some of the boxed shit. He must be on top of it. No, on it. That's good stuff. Thank you. Yeah, jump. Let's continue this. Let's continue this. Now, I think it might be easier in a way to actually turn multiply off this layer. So we can actually see. Thank you, hon. Like, because we're gonna, let's say, do that. I wonder if we could select inside the wall. See, the problem is if I've got a bleed, if I got any hole on here, it will fail. And I've got holes. It's gonna go all over the map. I'm not gonna be able to do that. Let's not get greedy. I wish I could make the shadow a little bit bigger. I will admit that. I wish I had a little bit more control over it. But let's do this room and let's see if this is going to work. Alright, I'm going to get greedy now with my select, and I'm going to actually try to select these little mini rooms. Because I think it's really with the small rooms. It's like Miss J writes in, she drops down a technique, she can't even see the screen. She can't even hear us. And her technique is working. Miss J is the blind cartographer. She's like one of those Shaolin monks. Sitting there up on a hill. Laying down the wisdom for the rest of us to pick up the scraps. Alright, so theoretically, what we do is we now fill that with white. And it looks like absolute dog shit, but that's okay, because we're going to do a multiplayer in that in a second. I am intrigued. This would actually do the shadow just on the inside, which is what I wanted. We're gonna keep doing with this. Thank you, Alex. That's appreciated. It's yeah. Someone tell Miss J that it's definitely looking promising here. It's definitely looking promising. All right. I wish I could just make it that little bit bigger. You know, just that little bit. It's like I wanna throw another 100, maybe 50 pixels on it. I don't know why kind of Photoshop has got this arbitrary, is that a word? Like size limit of like 250 pixels. It's like, why? Why are you going to limit me to a stroke of 250 pixels? Why are you going to limit me to an outer glow of 250 pixels? What is the magic mark of 200 bloody pixels? Now, we might come back to this room, by the way, that I'm doing here. The room description of this, I'm not going to do any spoilers, basically says that it is a duplicate of this. Now, obviously, this is a sarcophagus that we're going to draw here. It has a tomb area. But it's meant to be very disorientating, because the players, like, are here, they do something, and now they're standing over here, and they don't even necessarily realize that they've changed rooms. However, the one on the left there, it's got this big huge bloody alcove to the south, and that immediately would tell me as a player that I've changed rooms. So it seems odd that this room's got an alcove, but it's meant to be a duplicate. Oh, alright. I'm leaving them white right now, by the way, just leaving it all white. Oh, let's do this area up here. Now this is going to be interesting. I really feel like I need to draw a wall at the top here. I really do. Maybe we'll do that tonight. It's not on the map, but it's in the description. So let's do this. Let's do this. Okay, and then let's fill that with white. And then I think we still got to go down south, right? Alright, let's see how that sucker's looking right now. Now, the only problem with this technique that I'm going to have to be careful of is if I do get to an end where I actually don't want shadow, like it's an open area or something, I've got to be careful of that. I'll have to make sure we don't hit that. Alright, so let's ignore the other areas. Let's do here. This, what is that? I think that's a corridor. That's a way going through. Okay, let's do that. I suppose this could be good too, because I could always delete some of this. Like if I put a door here, I think there is a door here. If I put a door here, I could always delete that section then of our shadows. Huh. This is a curious technique. just want someone to come into the stream now, just as we go. Alright, let's fill that with white. That's better. Alright. See, this is why I could not just simply select inside the wall. I have all of these openings. Right. You know what? Ah ha ha! What am I doing? Let's have a little bit more control than that, Faden. There we go. This is one corridor, by the way, where I'm not convinced that the descriptive text is correct. This is one reason why I'm kind of completely leaving this area. It might be the last area that I draw. I've got to get some clarity in that one. Alright, then let's do that. Now I want to do the alcoves too. I missed a bit. Right, let's do it like that first. Let's just do a quick fill. Cool. And then let's actually change this to this. What? Did I fill that? I did fill that. What is this? What is this here? What is this? Sitting on top of my shit. Like, what is that? Did I really? No, I didn't. Okay, I'm a dupe. Come here. That looks a little jaggy. That looks a little jaggy. I don't like that. What? I wonder if that's something to do with my wall coloring. Okay, I'll come back to that. I think that's what must be going on. Let's take this. And then let's do that. That's certainly one way to get a nice circular shadow going on. Alright. I'm actually going to leave the white on there for a moment, but it's going to end up looking like this, because what we'll do is we'll change to multiply, and pow. The shadow was not as deep as I was looking for, but I think shorter and darker is actually working better. I think I'm okay with that. This one here we're going to have to play with, because here's a prime example where it's not quite working, because this shadow actually needs to continue here. But I've got an idea for that. So I think that actually works pretty damn good, doesn't it? Now we do have some jaggy, funky shit going on here, and I feel like it's because I haven't put the shadow underneath the wall enough. Ala, were you here when this where's my cursor gone? Where this style was discussed? In fact, let's just drag it across. It's kind of a combination of two layer effects. In fact, you know what I gotta do here? We gotta get a little bit closer, because our shadow is so small now. There we go. If the white is actually drawn down here, it starts to glow down here. I can't have that. So Allah, there's definitely some cleanup that we've got to do. I'm going to take a look at this now. But Allah, this was Miss J's suggestion. There's two things that work, several things really. It's a layer that is a white layer. We literally, and I'll show you. Let's do it in a room that we haven't really touched yet. Like, give me a room. Okay, let's do this room right here. Alright, so you draw white, solid white on that layer, but that layer has an inner glow on it with no blend on it. And if you make the actual layer itself be multiply, the white disappears, leaving the inner glow. And I've cranked up the opacity a little bit on the inner glow. Honestly, it was just like, let's just see what it looks like. But I think the net result, when it's coloured, it's actually not bad. It's not bad. So this has kind of been winning out right here. This has been winning out. Right, so the cleanup. What is this? What is this here? Is that really floor colouring? No, that's not floor colouring. What is this white here? Background? It is bloody background. Oh, so what I need to do here is go up to our shadows. Oops. And I think temporarily, I'm actually going to get rid of these. We're not going to need them yet. So let's come up here and let's paint in a little bit more white with our whoosh, which is now too big. So if we paint in, I'm painting in white here. There you go. Something like that. Can I do the same here? Yeah. And we could always touch this shit up later. I don't have to do this now. I was just curious about what these white jaggies were. I am curious, like what is going on up there? That's wall colouring. That's what that is. Yeah, so if we get rid of that wall colouring right there and clean that up, that's the stoof. That's the stoof. Then what we do is we go back to our shadows. We can get a little bit of that going in. We've got our wall colouring then, and we could do. So we'll come back through and do some cleanup on this, but that will get rid of the jagginess. That actually works pretty sweet. That looks pretty sweet, Miss J. Nice idea. So what's going on here? Hey, Mark, CMG, Summerger. I'll zoom out now. Oh, wait. Just about the reason why I suggested the white layer rather than putting it on the floor layer, because I know that your painting the texture might leave holes in the layer and make the inner glow look funny. I got you, I think. Mark Summerger, I'm going to show you this map in a second. I feel like, what is this? What is that? Underfloor colouring, or background? It's not background. What is that? Like, literally, what is that? It ain't that. It ain't that. I think I just haven't coloured in this area. That's what it is. I just haven't coloured in this area properly. That's me being slapdash. We'll come back through, we'll clean everything up. Alright, so Mark Summerger. Now, we've still got quite a bit to go, but I want to say with floor at least halfway. Because we haven't done the maze yet. But we're also gaining speed. for as much as we gain speed and like knock out a room pretty quickly, like that floor I colored last night, there's always a room like this where I have to pour in like, you know, 3 working sessions to get the sucker done. But I think holistically it's getting there, and I actually kind of like the shadows. I think I'm digging them. They're definitely working. Look over here. I love them on the smaller rooms. Quite a bit. Quite a bit. Alright, Mark, I get that voodoo. It might be 1 block of colour. Now, I've actually been saving this because I don't know what to do with it. Seriously. I've been vacillating between like broken flagstones, like heavily broken, you know, or rough stone, which is what I'm leaning towards, rough stone, or sand. And I don't want sand because that almost insinuates you can dig through it, and I don't think you should be able to do that. So I'm thinking just rough stone, not flagstones. I think I've just answered my own question. I think that's what I'm leaning towards. Maybe we're going to do sand drifts and shit in here, but I think that's what I'm leaning towards, just rough stone. No flagstones at all. I probably use vacillating a lot because I'm a pretty vacillating type of person. I vacillate. I'm actually going to, I'm going to honestly give mad props to role-playing for giving me any level of vocabulary. I honestly, and it's not just the reading of like fiction and shit like that. I mean, there's a level of that. But I think just reading scenarios, reading adventure books, reading even DMGs and weapon guides, I think it introduces words and you pick them up. You pick them up. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what's going on here, and I don't like it. Exactly, Mark, right? Exactly. Hi, Gygaxian. Alright, so we got... Do I still have guides on this? Oh my god, I do! I still have guides on here. I should probably delete the guides in the areas we're done, huh? Should probably get around to that. So okay, so I have guides. I think I probably need to actually... We have a shadow problem. We have a shadow problem. So... Shadows. Where are my shadows? Where the fuck are my shadows? Shadows. Okay. So do we have a shadow problem? I don't want to do that bit. Do I have a shadow problem? Are you gonna give me a shadow problem? There we go. This room, by the way, is described as being smooth plaster, which is like the whole thing. And while the description isn't explicit, it's saying, there are no flagstones. It just said smooth plaster. So I got this impression that it was kind of like one smooth floor, smooth walls, featureless, you know? And there's an archway over here, which we'll do later on. So last night, I kind of came up with like, I didn't want to just paint, and it was meant to be white, but I didn't want to do pure white. I felt like it needed some texturing on there, so this is what I came up with. And I think it works. I think it works. It's got a little bit of texture going on. Then with these intersections here, I think we're going to leave the intersections on there, but I'm kind of going to do them like maybe a soft grey or something like that in this room. We'll get rid of them on the walls like altogether. Don't need them, right? If you know this, you don't need them on the other side. But we'll come back to that. We'll come back to intersections later on. Alright, so that's this room. What I want to do here. So this wall, there is a wall here that the players have to break through, hence the debris on the ground, in ever to get to this room. So it's a little bit like a secret room, you know, and yeah, it's a secret room. Let's just fix these shadows as we go here, looking lovely jubbly. Now the wall itself is meant to be some kind of, it's painted wood, so I don't want to do stone. So I think I know what we'll do with this. Alright, we will get onto our ink wall layer. Yeah, I knew I'd done you on the wrong layer, but it's okay. Let's bring our brush size down to about 25. There we go. That will do. And I want my wall to go from here to here. Is that too thick? No, let's leave it. It's fine. There. Now we're going to fill that wall, and we're going to fill it with like a kind of a brownish. Let's just make it solid to begin with. Right, let's get a little bit of detail on this, just because we can. A little bit lighter. By a little bit, I mean by quite a bit. Soften up a little bit of that texture in there. Yeah. Okay. Painted wood. Now the problem I've got is this shadow here is not glowing here and it's not glowing there, and that's because we actually have some white right here. So what we're going to do is we are going to delete that section. There. Now, this is a secret corridor, so when you crawl here, and it goes under this room, so as you're crawling along here, you get to a dead end. The description actually says that it's painted wood, so you get to this painted wood end, and you can like do something with it. It says like you're all super cramped, so you can't really sort of, it says you can't use your weapons on it, but I guess you could use a dagger or something. So if you break through, that's what creates this plastered area beyond that falls down and suddenly you're in the room. I think that works. And by the way, if you actually look above me on the Alyssa Skycam, this is room 18 right here. And you'll see they don't really have that represented. But because we're drawing a battle map view, we've kind of got to do it that way, right? We've got to do it this way. Because you got to put a mini on this sucker. It can't look like you just can like, just walk out the end. I mean, that's just going to be all kinds of wrong. Alright, so what do we want to do next? What do we want to do next? That shadow ink was actually pretty quick. Shadow ink, we missed a bit. Hold on. Shadow alert. Shadow alert. We want to get that. We want to get our white. We want to get our fill. And we want to go pow. Shadow done. just like that. And then on our wall coloring, a little bit of cleanup because we're here, and that's some sloppy ass shit. And come over here, get rid of that because we are here right now. And now back to our shadows and get a brush. Just because we can, just because we're here. More coloring. Got a little bit of sand that's bled beyond that I want to clean up right now. There we go. Yeah. Not looking too shabby. We do have to do some shadows on these pillars. I'll probably do those once I've determined where our light sources are in the room. The things we do for scale. Indeed, Mark Summerger. Indeed. Oh, you know what? While we're here, because this is kind of bugging me. This is really kind of bugging me. Let's get our floor here, and let's just do a little bit of a clone cleanup. No, you see, no, there's something there. Hold on a second, though. That's on that. Let's do this. It was a shadow issue. It was a bloody shadow issue. I thought it wasn't. I thought I tested for this. Alright, so actually then we were okay, weren't we? It wasn't as bad as I thought. Okay, good. Not sure what to do here. This is one area where I think, because I've not read it, this is one potential entry point there, and there's something like 3 or 4 entry points into this place. This is one of them, but I think if I like use the little sky cam up here, like if I use the sky cam properly, this is location 2. Wait, what the, oh. Photoshop is doing its weirdness. Anyway, we'll come back to that. I'm not going to save this. Anyway, this is option or room 2. I think the players can literally break through this. I don't think this is a door, but I could be on crack. I think this is an option to break through. In which case, once we've read that, we'll decide how we're actually handling this area. Yeah, I hear you, Geek. Yeah, no, I hear you. I see a little bit up the top. I think that will fix now. Because I was doing straight shadows. So, like areas like this. In fact, am I on the shadow layer? No, I'm on the wrong color. Hold on. Let's get rid of that. First, wall coloring. Sand, be gone. Yeah, so I actually just did a straight line of shadow over here, so it missed this little bit where my wall is uneven. Yeah, so I hear you. And I think what we'll do is we'll just come through this entire map, and obviously we're gonna clean up a lot of this when we get to the details. We're not in the detail phase yet. This is just pure walls and floors. That's all this is. That shadow actually turned out okay. That actually turned out okay. Fair dues. Fair dues. And I actually particularly like the small rooms, like quite a bit. Quite a bit. But I think this has got to be like my favourite little area right here. These look quite divine. These are as cute as a button. They're really good. just doing a little bit of shadow cleanup. The whole point of today's stream was shadows, after all, right? And I think we got it. I think we got what we needed to get. I did that one, right? I'm pretty sure I did that one. Pretty sure I did that one. And I'm happy with this now, quite a bit. Happy with that. Yeah. So maybe actually, let's do a little bit of shadows on this corridor. Let's continue the theme here a little bit, and then I guess they come into this room here. So let's do that. Let's get our shadows, even though we haven't got everything else done here. Cave Geek. So this is what it feels like when I say we're not into the detail phase yet. People think I'm bullshitting. Yeah, man. You hung out on my Teagle enough. Heck, man, there's a lot of you in Teagle, but you know the work that goes into detailing on a map. We haven't even got freaking close to detailing this thing. I want to do cobwebs. I want to do dust. I want to get like a whole bunch of like sand drifts. And that's just talking about adding a little bit of like, something to the rooms themselves. That's even before we get into sarcophagus. Like little urns. Like, I've read some of the descriptions, man. We're gonna get nuts with this thing. This is a mini Teagle. So once we've actually got all of our walls and floors, and we're not that far off now. Maybe by the end of next weekend, maybe we'll have that done, depending. We can then actually jump into actually getting some serious detail done. Room by room by room. We'll read the description. And we'll do it. Oh, you know what we could do right here? Oh, this is one area where actually I quite like this technique. So if we actually select... Oh, no. Yeah. If we select this and this as well, we've actually drawn white here. There is white underneath this. If we actually now hit delete, then boom. So I could do that with theoretically pillars and stuff. Interesting concept. Okay. Allah, no, I actually hear you. It was actually fairly recently that I had an epiphany about I'm never going to be fast. I'm never going to be a Dyson. I'm never going to be turning out 6 maps a week. It's just not what I do. I'm a 200 hour a map, 100 hours a map, and it, like pouring in details and stories, right? Little bloody footprints on the floor, even though it's not in the description, with a bloody knife at the end of them. Little things, just little things. That's the stuff I love to do on a map, and we're gonna definitely be doing that on here. We've got to, otherwise I'm just like any other cartographer, right? That's the thing. That's what makes me different. Stupid details. So we're gonna be definitely doing a lot of that. Alright, so Alex, you're converting game maps to Minecraft builds. What's the theory? By the way, I love this section. I'm really looking forward to colouring this section. I took a little bit of my approach to the Garrycon map on this little bit, And so even though this is just a corridor going off, and one of the many ways of getting in and out of this place, I think this will be a fun area to do. Look at this little. I did this like a little swatch, like a proof of concept, and look how fun that is. It just looks kind of darling. I love the little rocks on the inside. Same as over here. That was the first one I actually did. I was like, yeah, okay, that will work. So imagine that kind of approach there. It's gonna look so cute. Alright, so we need to clean up here. There we go. Things like this bit here, by the way, will be filled in with the sand. When we actually come through and I actually do those areas, we'll make sure there's no little white bits bleeding through. Right. What I'm going to do is I think I'm going to colour that corridor off to the side there, just so we have its shadows in place. This might be my new favourite way of doing shadows, by the way. This might be featuring again. I still wish I could just make them a bit bigger. But I do kind of like the general simplicity of this. I like the versatility of it. Quite a bit. Quite a bit. Alright. Well, let's do here too, because this is kind of messy, and while I'm not all about cleaning up my mess yet, this is particularly messy. There we go. There we go. Oh, you know what? This too. Alright. Makes me actually wonder if there would be a way of drawing the outer wall, or the inner wall, I suppose, in such a way that you could do a quick select, create a white layer, create your shadows very quickly, and then you come in and start doing the ink work, you know? Like a little bit like when I did the guides, right? Maybe actually create the shadows from the guide versus creating them from the wall. Yep. Feeling this. Cave, it is, man. Look, there's so many cute bits. Look, I've even got little tiny hieroglyphics on here. Cute. They're cute. Look at the little fellas. You've done enough of being, you've seen me on Whose Monster Is It Anyway. You've now been with me on Whose Monster Is It. You've seen me running Cthulhu games. I go to undead infested dungeons and they go, oh, that's so cute. Ola does the same, don't blame me. Alex says, I figured out that a 5-foot square on a map translated out as a 2x2x2 block in Minecraft. Oh, very cool. Oh, are you rebuilding some maps in Minecraft? I was assuming that the wall on a map equaled a single block. So was building dungeons. Oh, you know, yeah, that's the way I've been doing it. Very cool. Oh, that's neat, actually. Phantom Jet. That was the end of him. How cute. Yeah, well, talking of which, we're going to be putting you and Zach in here again, of course. In dead format. gotta stop and smell the digital roses. That is true. In fact, funny enough, I was watching a streamer. Let's do. You know, what brush do I want to do here? I was watching a streamer anyway. Sorry. Yesterday, and he's playing a zombie survival game, but it was really, really, really beautiful. And he stopped to look at the sunset. He's like, shit, I gotta get out of here. And he stopped again to go, He's like, no, I gotta get home. So yeah, you just gotta sometimes stop and look at the sunset. Alright, so what are we doing? What am I doing? Soft round pen pressure size. What is the best way of me doing this? What is the best way of me doing this? I can't do a selected series. I have way too many holes going on here. I'm gonna try this. I'm not sure this is gonna work, but we're gonna try it. Isn't this weird? This is like I'm like, you know, pushing an ink spill around on the page or something. It's so weird. Now I'm bleeding into the rock a little bit there. We're gonna do some cleanup on that. That will make the shadows sharper. This is gotta be a freaky ass way to do shadows, man. It is so cool. It is literally like I'm just like smudging out the ink. Oh, it's so neat. It's so neat. Fam10, have Zach with one arm cut off and a chainsaw on the other. Done. Done. And you're gonna have one of those little chef blowtorches. Yeah, with colours underneath this, Ala, it's gonna work. This area here, by the way, might get cut off, obviously, in print. So that happened. So, I guess what I'm saying is, so you won't see this, like, curvature shadow. When we did Teagle, I told Zach from Forgot Games, and I meant it, that I would never, ever, ever do another one like that. And I meant it, every freaking word. And yet here we are. I'm hoping that we don't ever get into like the weak crunch shit though. Oh, then a week at Necropolis, a week at Teagle. You know what? Maybe we'll make that a thing. You know what? Screw it. I'm going to take that back, because a week at Teagle is one of my favourite mapping times ever. A week at Necropolis, a little bit later this year, could be fun. We finished the map inside that week. Ooh, I'm kind of liking the sound of that. Forgot Games, man, they are corrupting my soul. They're in my mind. They're destroying me. Teagle 2. We are not doing a Teagle 2. You know, I wish I was quicker though. I do wish I was quicker, because Necropolis actually has a whole bunch of maps in it. Like the actual scenario, the book has a crazy amount of dungeons and shit. It's like a cool adventure. It really is. And I wish I could have been the cartographer to do them all, but honestly, they would have to wait until 2025 if that was going to happen, maybe even later. I'm going to make my brush a little bit bigger here, because this is getting a little bit ridiculous. Just doing a little bit of shadow cleanup here where we had a little bit of spillover. That was maybe a little bit too much cleanup. If we're gonna be cleaning up like that, we are literally gonna be here forever. I don't like this eraser, and I don't know where it came from. But I think what we're gonna do is I'm actually gonna go to the eraser brush, and we're gonna change it to something else. Like Kyle's natural eraser. You know what, Kyle? I love you, man. I really do. But you can shove that eraser up your ass. It is not working. We're gonna do hard round pen pressure size, I think. Yeah. Teagle the gardening. The lost levels. What NDA? I haven't signed an NDA. Am I under an NDA? Alex Vixen. I just remember the Pathfinder game I was running, and they were exploring Necropolis, and they got lost. And the cleric had the bright idea of using Speak with Dead. Oh no! To ask the dead where the way out was. Picks a random corpse, casts a spell, and asks, "Can you tell us the way out?" And the corpse said, "No, I can't. I was dead when they brought me in." That's cool. That is cool. I've not read Teagle cover to cover yet. Teagle. Allow me to rephrase. Necropolis cover to cover, yeah. But I will say this: there are some areas where, like casting like a spell like that would probably attract a lot of unwanted attention. We'll come back for that little bit. I'm not sort of too worried about that. We're just getting the shadows of this corridor in place. We'll get all of the little details and cleanup and everything done when we actually put a floor in the corridor. And I think it's gonna be the same dry stone that the maze is going to be out of. I've already kind of got something percolating in my head for that. Like, yeah, just a good hard stone. Not sand. You're not digging your way through this shit. Close, close, close. Lovely, Jubbly. That's it, that's it, that's it. That's good. Alright, well, we actually don't need that little note there because we're handling shadows in a completely different way. I hadn't hit save this entire time. FYI. That's it, that's the approach, that's what we're doing. I think what I'm going to do tomorrow night, so what am I going to do tomorrow night? I think what we need to do is maybe we need to start working on this stone a little bit down here. We'll do the walls and maybe the floor of the maze, that's one option. That would be kind of cool actually if we did that. I know we've got to work the background a little bit, I've been doing it piecemeal. I know I've got to work the background, but I also don't want to just spend hours on stream working on a freaking background. Would like to colour in that section now. Maybe doing this section tomorrow would be kind of cool. Like that entire section right there. I have to read up on that room. Like room... This one. The one I drew all over earlier in the stream. Room 12. I have to read about this, but maybe doing room 12. Done room 10. We've got this secret corridor right here into 12. Maybe doing 12 would be kind of cool. Off stream, I'm going to continue moving my way north with the flagstones and stuff. You don't need to see me drawing flagstones all day. You can see I've got most now. I've got most of the outer walls done, but there is this section up here. So I might off camera work these walls a little bit and some flagstones. But yeah, let's do this one tomorrow night. Let's do this area. Oh, I see an area that needs a little bit of shadow love, don't we all? There we go. And a little bit here too, and that. There we go. All right, I think honestly, that's a good place to like stop this stream, unless I actually just want to. Hold on a second. I can't resist. Hold on. Let's just end with a little bit of shadow love. Hold on. Because we could do like literally this, and then this. And this. I'll come back to that. A little bit of this. A lot of this. I am back tomorrow. I promise. And we are going to continue, but we're going to continue actually coloring. Pow, just like that, literally just like that. If I get this brush and we actually get the hard one instead, we can now, look how much the shadow gives depth. Like this literally looks like a part of the wall, doesn't it? I love that. I love that so much. There we go, let's just get rid of you though. Just like that, just like that. Again, a little bit of cleanup in these areas right here. And maybe, you know what, maybe getting the shadows done before anything else would make sense. That one we kind of missed a little bit, so let's just, come on. We need a little bit of that same treatment over here. There we go. And here as well. Yeah. There's something to be said for actually drawing in the bloody shadows after you've done the wall. Look at that. There is a lot to be said for that. Beginning to take bloody shape. Those shadows have really transformed this map. Even the areas that I haven't done yet are really beginning to pop. And the areas that I have done, it's like, holy smokes, that looks kind of cool. Alright, tomorrow, let's do this section right here. Let's do it. Only because, honestly, I really want to get this background stuff in. I want to get this floor in here so much. I want to get this whole corridor in here, these rooms, and that will really, really start to take some shape right there. This room here, by the way, there's stairs coming down, there's stairs coming down, there's stairs coming down, which is why I've left these bits blank. I'm gonna have to delete the flagstones that I drew there. Or I draw the stairs on top, but you get the idea. This is actually kind of like this bedroom area. It has some beds and shit. I was actually gonna put some rugs on the floor, some nice decorative rugs over there. Just to kind of explain where my head's at. But yeah, I think that's looking pretty darn good. I'll see everyone tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out. I missed you guys. I just couldn't stream last week. I didn't have the energy. I didn't have the energy in my soul. You know what I mean? But I'm back. And I'm back tomorrow. And we're going to do more of this. It's looking really good. I'll love you all. I will see you tomorrow. And we'll keep on making the magic happen. I kind of want to go like that for some reason. We'll make the magic happen. I'll see you tomorrow, kids.